Welcome back, everybody. I want to do something a little bit different in this video than I've done before. I want to actually do a deck tech kind of video on pre-releases. In honor of the Theros Beyond Death pre-release going to be happening this weekend, which I'm really excited about. I'm going to open a Throne of Eldraine pre-release pack, which I've opened before on the channel. But instead of really looking at value, I mean, obviously we're still going to drool over the cool cards, but instead of just looking at value, I actually want to try to see if we can make a good pre-release deck out of this. So we'll actually sort them out by color and see if we can build a good deck. So let's get in here and see what we can do. So this is for anybody who's never done a pre-release before. Some tips and stuff on how to build a deck out of a pre-release kit, because that should be what's going down. You're gonna get one of these kits. It'll probably be pretty much just like this one. Hopefully they put the box back to the old style deck boxes though. So you're gonna have your deck box. You're gonna get some cards. We'll save the pre-release card for last. Oh, looks like it might be a good one. I think I see a Planeswalker there. So you get the divider and stuff like that. You'll get your die, your 20-sided spin down life counter. So you got something to count your life with during the tournament there. And deck box to keep your cards in. I do recommend taking a package of sleeves with you so you don't ruin anything nice you get, especially because we don't really know what cards are going to be super valuable in the set or not yet, you know. So put this stuff up here. All right, so you're going to get 6 packs, and out of these 6 packs you pretty much have to build a 40 card deck. The store will provide the basic lands, but it's up to you to make sense of what you pull and see if you can put together a good deck from it. So let's see if we can't do that. Let's open these 6 packs and try to build a deck out of it. So instead of just sorting by commons, uncommons, rares, and all that stuff, we're actually going to sort by color, because that's probably the best method of doing this. So we'll try and keep it kind of alphabetical here, just to make it easy for everybody. See if I can't get enough room in here to make it all happen. So, oh, stop that. Oh, I saw what it was. Oh, no. I saw what it was. Did you guys see what it was? Let me know in the comments if you saw what it was. So, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of go through, and we're actually looking at all the cards. So, we got a Lonesome Unicorn, a Raging Redcap, a Rosenthal Halberd, a Didn't Say Please, and a Lash of Thorns. So already all the colors have pretty good cards in them, because we got a Double Striker, we got one of the adventure cards, we got the Lash of Thorns, which adds Death Touch, and we got a Didn't Say Please, which is, you know, control. And then the Halberd actually is pretty neat. It's +1 or +2/+1. I don't personally stack it because it's just ridiculous casting costs unless you're doing a non-human deck. When it enters the battlefield, you can attach it to a non-human. Anyway, we'll go over all that later. Solar Flame Ritual, Steel Gaze Griffin. That one I really like, especially for Throne of Eldraine, because not only is it a 2/4 flyer in blue, but it also gets a boost +2/+0 every time you draw your second card each turn, which with Throne of Eldraine was a really usable feature. Artifacts, I didn't leave a spot for artifacts. Oh, I guess we can still see it on the screen a little bit. Redcap Raiders. Now our uncommons, we got a Steel Claw Lance, which is red-black Rakdos colors. So that's a multicolor card. So it just depends on what colors we end up taking. We got an Epic Downfall. Now this is an important card for draft. Obviously Theros can be a lot different. There's going to be different removal spells, but this is a removal spell, so this is a very important one for draft. So this is a huge card pull. That's actually really good. So black's looking even better now. A Mad Ratter. Oh, and we got a Rankle. Rankle is our mythic. Not only rare, but mythic. Rankle's a great card. So far, from the first pack, it's looking like black is a shoe-in for this, because of the Rankle, obviously. And we might have some Rakdos abilities, because we did get a few decent red cards. We got another blue with our foil. We're not going to worry about the fact that it's foil. We're just worried about what cards we get. And then our basic land and our food token. We're going to set that stuff off to the side because that stuff doesn't matter. So a rankle on the first pack is huge for a Throne pre-release. Obviously, Theros is going to be totally different. But this is just kind of to give you an idea of how to kind of get going with building a deck and how to figure out what colors to use to make yourself the most effective deck you can. A Runaway Together, that's a really good card in blue. So black and blue are both looking really good. We got a Shining Armor here. Now we got a Merchant of the Veil. So the Throne, one of the most popular draft decks, was the red-blue draw 2, which just basically meant you stacked a lot of creatures that had the second draw per turn abilities. And then a lot of Merchants of the Veil, which is a great card because you can discard a card and draw a card as its adventure for 1 red. And then he also had that ability for a red and 2 colorless. You could discard a card and draw a card at any time. And he's a 3-drop 2/3, which is, you know, a lot of bang for the buck with that guy, which is why he's, I think, the most expensive common in the set. We got a Youthful Knight, which got First Strike, 2-drop 2/1. So that's a good one for white. Oh, here's another good black card, the Tempting Witch. I have definitely won games with this one. It's when it enters the battlefield, you get a food token, which you can sack for 3 life, or you can sack with the Tempting Witch. You can pay 2, tap the Tempting Witch, and sacrifice a food to do 3 damage to a player. So that is awesome. So even though we haven't gotten many black cards yet, the black cards we've got are all really good cards. We got a Spore Cap Spider from green. That's only our second green card in 2 packs. So green's looking kind of weak already. White keeps looking a little bit more tempting though, because now we've got an Arden Vale Tactician, which is really good. Flyers are huge for me in draft. I look for flyers. That's my #1 priority when it comes to creatures, is getting flyers out there, because there's not a lot of stuff to deal with flyers in draft. Now we did get a Mystic Sanctuary, which is the good blue land. We'll put that aside. We'll talk about that later if we decide to go blue. Outmuscle. This is a great card in green, so we don't have a lot of green yet, but this is a really good one. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control, then it fights another target creature you don't control. If at least 3 green mana was spent to cast the spell, the creature you control gains indestructible till end of turn. So you can pretty much kill anything and not lose your creature. Well, anything that your creature is tough as. Prophet of the Peak, another artifact. We'll set that off to the side. We got a Spectre's Shriek. That's a basically you get to look at your opponent's hand and then choose a non-land card from it and then exile that card. So another good black card. That's one of our uncommons. We got a Marrowleaf Pixie, which is another flyer, 2-drop flying 2/2 that gives us a green or blue if we decide to go with the Simic colors. So we'll put that down there in our dual colors kind of pile. We got a Slaying Fire. This is a really good one for red. So red, once again, is looking pretty good. Oh, and then our blue is looking killer right now. We just got a Brazen Borrower. So our second pack, second mythic, Brazen Borrower. Another great card. He's got flash. He's flying. He's a 3/1. He can only block creatures with flying. And he's got a instant for his adventure. Return target non-land permanent and opponent controls to its owner's hand. So he's got a built-in unsummon as well. So 2 good mythics in black and blue already. Looking pretty good in the mythic slot. We haven't even gotten a rare yet. Going to pack number 4. Not a single rare. All mythics. All really good mythics. So far, this is a bang-up pre-release kit. True Love's Kiss. A Witching Well. Embereth Paladin. Prize Griffin. Another good white flyer. He's a little bit costly, though. He's 5-drop for a 3/4 flyer with no special abilities. Lost Legion. He's a decent black card. He's a 3-drop 2/3, but he does let you scry too, which is important. Make sure you stack your next couple turns up. Garenberg Squire. Another Mystic Sanctuary, so another one of the good blue lands. Another Outmuscle. There is some really good green cards showing up here, so green might be a possibility at the end. Another Prophet of the Peak. Worthless. A Flaxen Intruder. Okay, so another decent green card. Inquisitive Puppet. He's a decent little artifact. Not huge, but decent. We got a Sire Allen, the Lion's Claw, another good first striker in white. He's kind of a beat stick. He's a 5-drop 4/4 with first strike that whenever he attacks, other creatures you control get +1/+1 till end of turn. So that's good. Oh, and our rare is a Worthy Knight. We finally got a rare. A Worthy Knight. Oh, and we got another rare, a foil rare, a Doom Foretold. So we got another dual color card. So we'll put that in our dual color pile. So wow. So far, every pack has been a really good pack as far as value goes. Got a foil rare, we got a decent rare, not too valuable, but a decent rare, and 2 amazing mythics. All right, we got a 7 dwarves. Unless we get 6 more of those, that's not really anything to write home to mama. But we did get a Fairy Godmother. Fairy Godmother is a really good common in white, so that's tempting. Another Runaway Together, so blue is still looking very promising. Another Embereth Paladin, so red still looking pretty brutal. Another Garenberg Carver. Festive Funeral, yet another removal spell in black. So black is still looking like the Forerunner. In my opinion, I mean, let me know what you guys think, but black is still looking really powerful. Merfolk Secret Keeper, decent little card there in blue. Oh, now here we go. Green's starting to pick up a little bit. Now we got a Fierce Witch Stalker. Not a very valuable card, but a 4-drop 4/4 with Trample is huge. And then he also creates a food token when he comes in. That is huge in draft because most of the removal spells in this set are only like 3 damage or less, or affect 3 mana cost or less. So this is a 4/4 with 4, and Trample is massive, especially in green where you got a bunch of pump spells. Yet another worthless Prophet of the Peak. That's the 3rd one. We got Wicked Guardian. This one's pretty decent. It's a little bit rough on the downside, but it does let you draw a card. So 4-drop 4/2 that you have to do 2 damage to one of your other creatures, but he does let you draw a card with that. We got a Keeper of the Fables, another big green beat stick, and whenever one of your creatures, non-human creatures you control, deal combat damage to a player, you get to draw a card. So that's actually a really good one. It's 5-drop 4/5. Not bad for draft at all. A Mysterious Pathlighter, another white card. Heraldic Banner, if you are going, if you are trying to go kind of uniform on one of the creature types, that's a good one. And a Clackbridge Troll is our rare. Clackbridge Troll's not bad with black. It's a 5-drop 8/8. That's a game winner in draft for sure. Trample and haste. When he enters the battlefield, target opponent, however, gets 3/0/1 white goat creature tokens. So you basically give your opponent 3 chump blockers. At the beginning of combat on your turn, and any opponent may sacrifice a creature. If the player does, tap Clackbridge Troll, you gain 3 life and you draw a card. So they can shut it down by sacrificing a creature for a few turns, but eventually they're going to run out of creatures, and every time they do that, you gain 3 life and you draw a card. So for draft, I would totally stack this guy. He would be a beast in draft. He would be very difficult for your opponents to deal with. All right, 2 more packs, and then we'll actually put a deck together and see what we can figure out here. Oh, we got the Crystal Slipper. So another red, decent little equipment card that helps. Anything that pumps and draft is usually really effective. Really helps out a lot because you're not going to get a lot of creatures in your deck. It's only a 40-card deck, so the creatures you got to make the most out of. So, Silverflame Squire, actually a really good white card because it does pump up, gives you +2/+2, and untaps a creature as an instant. So that can really sway a battle in your favor. And he's a 2-drop 2/1 when he comes in off of his adventure. Another Mantle of the Tides. Another Memory Theft, so you get to look at your opponent's hand again. Another Rosethorn Acolyte, if for manning up, if you got some bigger creatures. Roving Keep. I don't know that I'd stack a Roving Keep in draft, but yeah, we'll take a look at them later. So, a Dwarven Mine, now we got the red land. Not as good as the blue land, but not too bad. Not bad for draft. Lothwain Paladin. He's got Menace, which is very helpful in draft. And if he's got the Adamant, so he's a 4-drop 3/2, but if it was 3 black mana spent on that, he comes in with a +1/+1, so he's a 4/3. So 4-drop for a 4/3 with Menace, pretty decent for draft. And then we got my favorite guy. This guy's going in the deck no matter what we do. Gingerbrute. This guy is an artifact, 1-drop 1/1 with haste that you can pay 1. He can't be blocked by anything without haste, and he's basically a food token. You can sacrifice him to gain 3 life. So he's pretty awesome. I love the Gingerbrute. Gingerbrute's a shoe-in no matter what colors we go with. Always stack the Gingerbrute. That little guy will win you games. Trapped in a Tower. Actually, another really good white card for draft. If you got a flyer, it's a enchant creature without flying. I mean, if you got a non-flyer causing you problems, enchant creature without flying, enchant creature can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. So that's really good. It shuts down any kind of special creatures they got over there that are causing you problems. Wondermare, 2-color, green, white. Nothing too special. Fairy Vandal, a really good card for draft. I've stacked this guy in a bunch of drafts from Throne. Had really good luck with him. Flash, flying, 2-drop 1/2. If that's not good enough, whenever you draw your second turn or your second card each turn, put a 1/1 counter on him. Hence, the red-blue draw 2 is so effective in this set. So, yeah, he's definitely a shoe-in. If we're gonna play blue, he's going in the deck for sure. Cauldron's Gift. It returns a creature in your graveyard to the battlefield, and if you paid the Adamant cost, you get a +1/+1 counter on it. Or no, he comes in with a +1/+1 counter for 5. If you played the Adamant cost, you put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. And then our rare is a Black Lance Paragon, another decent black card for draft. He's a 2-drop 3/1 with Flash, which is always helpful. And when he enters the battlefield, target knight gains Death Touch and Lifelink until end of turn. So basically, he's a 3/1 that can give himself Death Touch and Lifelink, and you can flash him in. So that can really turn the tide of a battle. And even though you wouldn't probably stack him in a lot of decks in draft, he's actually really effective. So black is looking really, really stacked. It just keeps getting better and better over there. So I think black is probably going to end up being our main color, but we'll kind of give it an assessment after we get this last pack opened. Okay, another Shining Armor. This is a Tome Raider, which is another one of my favorite blue cards for draft for Eldraine. It's a 3-drop 1/1, but he's flying, and when he enters the battlefield, you get to draw a card. So, I think that's pretty good, just because flyers are so hard to come by. It sucks that he's only a 1/1. I think he should have been at least a 1/2, but, you know, he's flying. Flying in draft, in blue, and he lets you draw a card. Drawing cards important. 2 Unveil Tree Folk. Good, huge late game beat stick. And kind of mid-game adventure. Put 2/1/1 counters on target creature. Now, they are permanent, but it is a 4 casting cost. And then he's a 6 casting cost to bring him in the field. But he is a 6/5, so he is probably the final nail in the coffin if you can get him actually out there. But I don't know. He's kind of expensive. Borrow Witches. Basically return a knight from your graveyard to your hand. Too expensive. He's 5-drop 3/4. That not a card I'd stack and draft at all. Weapon Rack. Basically you can get 3/1/1 counters for 4 colorless, and each turn you can move 1 onto a creature. It's kind of slow. It's a sorcery speed. Moving them onto a creature, and you can only move 1 a turn, which is kind of lame. I don't think I'd stack that. Too slow. Beloved Princess is good, though. A 1-drop 1/1 with lifelink, and can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. So if all they've got is bigger creatures, pretty much unblockable, lifelink, 1 pop every turn, and you can always pump her up. All right, another blue flyer. That's pretty good. So 4 mana for a 2/2 flyer. Adamant is if at least 3 blue mana was paid to cast it, you get a 1/1 counter on it. Good card, really good card for draft. Hingewalker, decent. It's a 3-drop 2/2, but if you spend all the same color, it's a 3/3. It just doesn't have any special abilities or anything, but it is artifact, so it can go in any deck if we need another creature to fix our mana curve there. Oh, and another good removal spell. Reeve Soul, destroy target creature with power 3 or less. Good early game, two cost removal spell in black. Black is just stacked. I really like in black. Shepherd of Flock, another decent white card. So it's got an unsummon on it. Return target permanent you control to its owner's hand. So you can, and it's instant speed, so you can save one of your creatures that's going to die in combat after you block with them. 2-drop, 3/1. Not bad. He's a little weak on the toughness, but not bad. Oh, and then we got a Hypnotic Sprite in blue. Yet another flyer. Wow, we got a lot of blue flyers. This is good. And he's got a counter spell in it. So his adventure is 1 blue and 2 colorless. Counter target spell with converted mana cost 3 or less. And he's a 2-drop, 2/1 flyer in blue. You can't beat that. So blue is still looking like a good runner-up, maybe. Sage of the Falls, too expensive. I wouldn't stack it. It's 5-drop for a 2/5. Whenever Sage of the Falls or another non-human creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. If it was like, draw a card and you don't have to discard, that might be worth stacking, but yeah, I'm not going to stack that. And our rare is Ayara, First of Locthwain. When she or another black creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. You can sacrifice another black creature to draw a card. 3-drop, 2/3. Pretty awesome. The downside is that it's all 3 are black, which is a little difficult if we're running 2 or 3 colors in our deck. Pretty much there's no chance. If we're running 3 colors, I wouldn't risk it at all with 3 of the same color. Now, in Theros Beyond Death, that's a totally different story, because in Theros Beyond Death, you're going to have the your Devotion. Devotion is going to be big, so you actually do want to see more pips of the same color in casting costs for your creatures in Theros. But in Throne, this would be bad. So it just depends on it. If you're going to go mainly black and with another color, she would be pretty awesome. But she is a little bit risky, because getting 3 swamps out at one time in draft is a little bit difficult. Another Shepherd of Flock. This one's foil. So did we get another one, or is this the first one? Oh, I think this might be the first one, actually. Oh no, it was alternate art. That's why I was looking for it. I didn't see it. I was like, I thought we got one of these. Alternate art. So now we just got a second one in foil. He's okay. Not terrible, not great. So there you have it. There's our cards. Now, with the pre-releases, we've got to build a deck out of this. Oh, I almost forgot our promo. Now, this could decide what we go with right here. What do we got? Okay. So, this guy right here might decide. Good old Garuk. So, this guy right here is a beast. He's a bit costly, but he is a black-green beast. Let me open him up so I can show you what he does here without all the reflections. Alright, so here's our promo foil, pre-release. Good old Garuk the Cursed Huntsman. So, he's got a 0 of create a 2/2 black and green wolf creature token with, when this creature dies, put a loyalty counter on each Garuk you control. His -3 is destroy target creature, draw a card. And he's got a -6 of you get an emblem with creatures you control, get +3/+3, and have trample permanently. So, he creates blockers for free. You kind of got to chump block with them as fast as you can to kind of get rid of them, so you can put more loyalty counters on them, so you can get the emblem, basically. Or destroy creatures. So, pretty beastly. Very expensive cost, which is generally not advised for draft, but, you know, I mean, you get this guy out a couple turns later, you probably got it in the bag. So, he's probably worth risking it with the high casting costs, just because he's such a beast, and he's really going to kind of turn the tides of the game for you. So, there you have it. There's the deck. So that's our options that we got to build, or well, this is all our options we got to build a 40 card deck out of. As you see, the black line is much, much longer than any of the other colors. The white is probably the second most cards that we got. White, though, there is some good cards, but there's some not so good cards too. Now our blue, we did find a lot of flyers in blue. Flyers to me are one of the most important things for any kind of draft or pre-release or anything like this where you're kind of limited on card pull, because not a lot of people are going to have a lot of flyers. Flying is something that has won me many drafts because people just don't have a way of dealing with them. And there's not a lot of removal. As you notice, we didn't get a lot of removal in here. We got more removal than I think is typical of a pre-release deck. Because we got like 4 or 5 good removal spells in black. So, you know, I'm thinking black is definitely our primary color. Especially because we got the Rankle too in the first pack. Rankle is a monster. So, if you're not familiar with Rankle, Master of Pranks, he's 2 black, 2 colorless, 3/3, flying haste, and whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you can choose any number of these special abilities. You can have each player discard a card, you can have each player lose 1 life and draw a card, or you can have each player sacrifice a creature. You don't have to choose any, it says choose any number of them, so you can choose 0 of them, or you can choose all 3. So, that's pretty awesome. For a 4-drop 3/3 flying haste, I mean, that's just unbelievable. So he is an awesome card. We'd be crazy not to stack him. If we're running black, we're definitely stacking the Rankle. You know? And then our other mythic was a Brazen Borrower, which is huge again. You got a 1 blue, 1 colorless, instant, return target non-land permanent and opponent controls to its owner's hand. Talk about really slowing somebody down, especially if they go all out to get some big creature out. And you just make them pick it right back up. And then they're stuck for, what, like, that slows them down for like 2 turns. That's if they didn't sacrifice stuff to get it out there, you know? So he's two blue and 1 colorless, which is a little bit bad for kind of a draft type format like this because, you know, getting 2 islands out at the same time for a 3-drop is a little tough, but he does have flash and flying, and he can only block creatures with flying. He's a 3/1. But because he's got the adventure, you can do the adventure first, which is really effective, and then you just got to wait till you get that second island to bring him out into the battlefield. So there is that. He's really, really effective. I've seen this guy in action. He can really do some damage. So, you know, our biggest decision is which one of our big kind of cards we want in here, because you know, we could do Rankle and Garruk, and we could go black and green, or we could do Rankle and the Brazen Borrower and go black and blue. So we kind of got to look at those colors and see if any of those are going to work. Obviously, like I said, I think black would be crazy not to go with, because we have, where is it, 1, we've got some discard stuff too. We got the memory thefts. 2. Oh, and the memory theft and the Spectre Shriek. Now we got the Tempting Witch in there too. 3. And then we got the Death Touch. So we got 3 good removal spells. We got the Epic Downfall, the Festive Funeral, and the Remove Soul or Reave Soul. And then we got the Lash of Thorns, which gives a creature Death Touch. Death Touch is really hard to deal with in draft, especially when this one pumps it up for 1 black. You get +2/+1 and Death Touch till the end of turn. So you're taking out anything. It doesn't matter how big of a creature they got. You can throw this on a little 1/1 chump blocker, and there he goes. Death Touch, he's gone. So really effective card. So those 4 are, in my opinion, probably definite stackers because they're pretty much removal spells. The Lash of Thorns, you gotta actually block and then throw it out to get it to be a removal spell, but it is a very effective removal spell. And we did get some really good rares. We did get I think all our rares were black. Did we get any other rares aside from black? I think we got 1 other rare. I forget what it was, but we got most of our rares were black. So, I mean, come on. And Clackbeard's Troll, very effective card. Blacklands Paragon, I think, is going to be a very effective card. And Ayara, very effective. I'm like I said, I'm not really psyched about the 3 pips in black, but still an effective card. So I think it's worth it. I think it's worth the risk in this format, especially with the Rankle too. I mean, black is just definitely probably our strongest color. And then we did get some other decent cards in black, but we've got the Tempting Witch. The Tempting Witch I love. The Tempting Witch definitely is gonna help out a lot. We do have the ability to see our opponent's hand and remove cards from it as well. So that's another big thing that we may want to consider in black also. All right, so there's kind of our black. Now our red started off pretty decent, but I don't think we got enough to even justify red. So we got an equipment, +1 in haste. We did get a couple Embereth Paladins, which I've had good luck with in draft because they are haste, a 4/1, and they do have the adamant, so they can come in as a 5/2 with haste, which is pretty beastly for 4 mana. So they're monsters. I do like them. We only got 1 7 dwarf, so that kind of sucks. But we did get the Slaying Fire, which is a really good removal spell. We did get the Merchant of the Veil, which is a really good card draw. The Mad Ratter has the ability from the Merchant of the Veil, which is whenever you draw your second card each turn, create 2 1/1 Black Rat creature tokens. But he is a little bit pricier. He's a 4 mana for a 1/2. So he can get killed pretty easy. Redcap Riders, or Raiders, decent, not huge, but decent. And then the Raging Redcap, the Double Strike is big. Double Strike's huge, but he's only a 1/2 for 3 mana. So we'd have to find a way to pump him. So I just don't think there's enough in red. So honestly, I wouldn't even look at red. Even though I do love that Slaying Fire, I wouldn't even look at red. So let's take a look at our white real quick, because white was kind of hit or miss for me. Shepherd of Flock kind of protects the creature you got, but it's more reactionary, and it's not really, I don't think, going to turn the tide in your favor too much. More reactionary, more on the defense. The Beloved Princess, great card. I would love to stack that one. Shining Armor is okay. +2 with Vigilance, and you can flash it in for 2, but nothing really I'd be really worried about. Trapped in a Tower is good. Trapped in a Tower shuts something down, so it's kind of like a removal spell, but it's very limited removal spell. There's only certain things it works on. The Silver Flame Squire is pretty decent because of the +2/+2 until end of turn, but it's only till end of turn. Not worth stacking a whole nother color. We did get a flyer, so there is a good flyer in there. We got the Fairy Godmother, which is good. The Worthy Knight, oh, that was our other rare. So all our rares were either white or black. Now he's only going to work with other knights, so I don't think we got enough knights to really make him as effective as we want. So I don't think he's really worth it. The Sire, first strike 4/4 is great, and given other creatures you control, +1/+1 till end of turn when he attacks is awesome. But he is a 5-drop with 2 pips of white. White is the slowest of all the colors for some reason. Prize Griffin, good big flyer, but he's just too expensive. 5 mana again. So all the white stuff is really just kind of too expensive. Ardenvale Tactician's a really good flyer. So we did get a couple decent flyers. We got the Youthful Knight, which is first strike. So a lot of people I could see wanting to go white with this. I'm just not sold on it because it's a little too broken up and the casting costs are a little too high for draft. So I'm going to put the white aside. I wouldn't stack white. Now let's look at the green, see what we got here. This is going to be a long video. So two in Veil Folk. Really good features. Maybe a good late game finisher, but I'm not sold on them in the deck because of its casting cost. No way to cheat him in a sealed draft like this. We do have some mana elf here with the Rose Thorn Acolyte. I think we got 2 of those, didn't we? Let me see. Nope, it's a Hellbird. Okay, so we only got one of the mana elves, so we're not going to be able to ramp up too much to be able to get that tree folk out there very fast. Keeper of Fables, again, good card draw and good 4/5 power, but he's 5 mana with 2 green pips. Bit expensive. The Witch Stalker is awesome. So the Witch Stalker is great for draft. So that one's a good one. That one's worth considering. The Carver has a decent +2/+2 instant ability, but then he's 4 mana for a 3/2. It's kind of right on that edge of I don't know if I'd stack him or not kind of deal. Just depends on what else I had and if I was committed to that color. Flaxen Intruder. The adventure is ridiculous. You're never going to pay 7 mana in draft to create the 2 or the 3/2/2 green bear creature tokens, I don't think. So you're probably just going to end up hard casting it. It's a 1 for a 1/2. That when it deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it to destroy a target artifact or enchantment. It's really just kind of a disenchant on feet. The Outmuscle is awesome. Outmuscle is very effective. So we do have 3 really good cards so far. When you cast a creature spell that has adventure, Garenberg Squire gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Not bad. 2-drop, 2/2. But you got to cast a creature spell with an adventure to be able to pump them up. So it's not a steady thing. Now we did get 2 of the Outmuscles. Very, very good card. And we did get a Reach. A 3-drop 1/5 with Reach. Nothing special about his abilities, but I would definitely stack that in a draft style deck like this because, like I said, flyers are going to be a problem. And then the Halberd, +2/+1, but non-humans are really the only thing, and you're going to cast it and you're going to put it on a non-human, and then it's going to cost 5 to move it, so you're probably not going to move it. Kind of a weak point on that one. So green, again, even though we got 2 of the Outmuscles and the Fierce Witch Stalker, we did get a Mana Elf and the Spore Cap Spider. I just don't think we got enough to really finish games with green. So once again, I'm going to put that aside, which really hurts because that means we can't use the Garruk either. So unfortunately, our Garruk and our green just doesn't look strong enough to me. So I don't think we're going to go with that, which pretty much brings us down to blue and black, which is kind of what I was thinking right off the bat. But this also takes out all our dual cards unless we wanted to splash a color, which is very dangerous. Now, we got the Marrowleaf Pixie with the blue. So there is a chance that we could splash a little bit of green in here. We could do black, blue, green. But that's really risky in this type of situation. So we just got to see if we've got enough that we think blue and black is going to dominate it well enough to where we don't need that. So let's look at our blue cards now. That's the one color we haven't gone over. So Shades of the Falls. Yeah, we're not even going to stack that. I'm going to toss that aside. That's a terrible card. The Hypnotic Sprite. We definitely would stack if we were playing blue because 2-drop for a 2/1 flyer, awesome. The fact that it's got a built-in counterspell as well, you can't beat that. So definitely would stack that one. The Vantress Paladin, 4 for a 2/2 flyer, pretty decent. But then with the Adamant, you can make it a 3/3 flyer. Yeah, undeniably good. And it's only 1 blue pip, definitely. Tome Raider, definitely. Draw a card. It's a flyer. It's only a 1/1, but you get to draw the card, and it's a flyer in draft. Can't beat that. Fairy Vandal, no doubt about it. Flash, flying. Whenever you draw your second card, it gets +1/+1 counter permanently, and it's a 2-drop 1/2. Even if it didn't have the special ability, yeah, we're stacking that. So I mean, blue is airborne death to the opponent right there, and it's fast too. And look at that mana curve: 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, and 4. Can't beat it. And we're only halfway through the blue cards. We do have a couple Mantle of the Tides, I think we got. Let me see here. Oh, no, just the one. 1 Mantle of the Tides. Equipped creature gets +1/+2 for a 1 blue. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, attach Mantle of the Tides to target creature you control. So if you're doing the extra card draws with all the other cards anyway, you can swap the Mantle of the Tides from creature to creature for free. That is pretty awesome. And that extra +1/+2 on one of our flyers, gonna end the game a lot quicker. Merfolk Secret Keeper. The sorcery is 1 blue. Target player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard. Not too bad. 1-drop for a 0/4. So a good little wall. We'll probably put him off to the side and see if we got room for him or not. The Runaway Together. We got 2 of these. These cards, I can attest to the fact, in draft are awesome. So if you're running blue, definitely do the Runaways Together. These are kind of like removal spells. They're not permanent removal spells. And you do have to return one of your own creatures, but it is an instant. So you can declare blockers, make them pick up their big beat stick that's about to smack you in the face, and just pick up one of your guys that you blocked with to save him so he doesn't die. So then you can recast him next turn and have another chump blocker. So 2 runaways together, you cannot not stack those if we're running blue. Witching Well. Witching Well is, I don't know. It's a 1 blue. When it comes in the battlefield, you can scry 2. Yeah, it's alright. It's an artifact. We don't really have anything that pumps up artifacts or sacrifices artifacts to do anything, so it's probably not going to be terribly effective, and it's 1 blue and 3 colorless to draw 2 cards. Frankly, I wouldn't stack it at all because it is one of the cards. So you're wasting one of the card draws just on the scry 2. It's just not enough for me. I wouldn't stack it. So I'm going to put him over here with the Sage of the Falls. You may feel different about that card, but I wouldn't stack it. Okay, Wistful Merfolk, foil even. Defender, 3/2 for 2-drop. Not bad. And then you can pay 1 blue and 1 colorless to make him lose Defender and become human until end of turn. So you can actually attack with him. So he's definitely one that we want to consider as an option if we need another creature. So we'll put him off to the side, or her. Looks like a her. Steelgaze Griffin. This guy wins games. He just does. He's a flying 2/4 for 5 mana, but it's only 1 blue pip, so not too bad. And when you draw your second card each turn, it gets +2 until the end of turn. So half the time, it's probably going to be in a blue deck like this where we got a lot of card draw. Plus, we got the Rankle to help us draw a card as well. He's probably going to be a 4/4 flyer most of the time. So by the time you get him out, it's probably game over. And then, of course, we got a Didn't Say Please. We do have a counterspell. And then it's not only a counterspell, but it also mills the top 3 cards of their library into their graveyard as well. So now with Theros, that would be a bad idea because there's a lot of stuff that can come back from the graveyard in Theros. But in Throne, good idea. So it looks like blue and black are definitely our strongest colors. So, I mean, if we kind of look at our most powerful cards, and we go with our removal, and then our most powerful black cards, and then we go with our definite blues, and of course our Brazen Borrower. I'm trying to do this very delicately. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 cards. All right, so we still got a little bit more we can add. Oh, 19. Can't forget the Ginger Brute. We've got to put the Ginger Brute in there. So we got 19 cards. You really want about 23 to 24 cards so you can have about 16 to 17 lands. So now we can look through and see what else we got. Okay, so we got our Tempting Witch. That's definitely one I'd recommend stacking in this deck. We've got Borrow Witches. They're a little bit too expensive for what we want to do. Gift now. The Paladin, it might be a good choice for an extra creature. The Wicked Guardian might be nice because it'll help us draw that extra card each turn because we've got a lot of blue stuff that responds to that second card each turn. The Lost Legion. The Scry ability is pretty nice. I don't like the 2 black pips in early game, though. We might not have a third turn 2 swamps. We might have 2 islands on the third turn. So I'm not so sure about that one. But let's look at our artifacts as well. We got the Hindwalker. Not too worried about that. I mean, it's okay, but we're running 2 colors, so we can't guarantee it'll be a 3/3. It'll probably be a 2/2 most of the time for 3 with no special abilities. We don't need the React. The Roving Keep's way too expensive. We're not really doing banner stuff. There's not enough. We're not going a certain character type. Prophet of the Peak is way too expensive. Inquisitive Puppets. This one we might want to consider. God, we got 3 of those Prophet of the Peaks. Jeez, they're terrible. The Signpost Scarecrow is not bad either because it does have a mana filter. It's a 4 colorless 2/4 with Vigilance, so it's a good blocker and attacker. And it does. We can filter 2 lands to add 1 mana of any color, so we can actually filter a land through it. I think we're a little too loaded to try and splash green. You guys may feel differently, and let me know in the comments what you feel. but I'm not really feeling that anything in the artifacts is powerful enough to really justify, so I think we'll probably just even out the last couple cards with either a blue or black creature. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we got 20 cards. So the merfolk is a possibility. He's a pretty big creature for what he does. We don't really have any massive sized creatures though. Everything, well, we got the Clackbridge Troll. Okay, I stand corrected. I forgot about him. Yeah, we don't have anything really big in here. So you may want to actually stack something with a little bit more beef on it in here. Most of our stuff is smaller. And the Burrow Knight, let's see how many knights we've got, because the Burrow Witches might actually give us a knight back that's died. So we got the Black Last Paragon, we got 1. We've got 1, 2. We got a Venturous Paladin. Okay, so that's not going to do anything for us. So we're not going to do the Burrow Witches. We'll probably do the Wicked Guardian. 4/2, pretty decent. And it lets us draw a card, so we trigger those second abilities, and it's only 1 black pip with 3 colorless. And we'll probably do the Lochthwain Paladin as well. So there's that. Now the other option, we do have the Spectre Shriek and the Memory Theft, which will help us remove cards that we feel is a threat and be able to see what's in our opponent's hand so we know what to react to. So we could go that direction. Or we could splash a little bit of green and try and put Garruk and maybe the Witch Stalker and some Out Muscles in here. But I don't think splashing green with 2 pips would be very dumb. Very dangerous. So I'm not sure that that's really going to help us. The Out Muscles are nice and the Garruk is nice, but I just really don't think splashing green is feasible. I could be wrong, but I really don't think, even with the Merrileaf Pixie and the 1-mana elf, I just don't think it's going to happen for us. I think we're probably better off going to the reveal the hand and discard a card from it. So we'll probably go with those and the other 2 creatures that are a little bit beefier and not too expensive. They're only 4 drops, so it won't kill our mana curve too much. So if we go with that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So we got 24. We might want to trim it down just because we've got some black cards that have 2 pips or 3 pips in the Ayara. And then we do have some blues that also have 2 pips, which is a little bit risky. Usually I'll only go 1 color that has multiple pips and then stack an extra land of that color or 2. We got another blue one, the Brazen Borrower. So we're going to have to stack a good amount of lands. So I think we might want to take one of the cards out. We'll probably take out the... I don't know. It's a tough decision because this one's probably... The Menace is going to be helpful, but I think we better go with the Wicked Guardian just for the card draw ability. So we'll go with that one. That'll bring us down to 23 cards, and we'll stack in our 17 lands. Probably 1 extra on the Swamp because we've got the 3 pip on the Ayara. So we'll probably go with the extra Swamp and then the rest, and make it even throughout the rest on the islands and swamps. Oh, we got our Mystic Sanctuaries I forgot about too. Let me see. Now it enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 3 or more other islands. When it enters the battlefield tapped, you may target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on top of your library. So it's going to come into play tapped, but if you kind of look at it like, because we're probably not going to have 3 islands at any time, but if you look at it like you're paying 1 blue mana basically to get an instant or sorcery card back from your graveyard and put it back on top of your library, that could be a game winner. Let's see what kind of instants and sorceries we got just to make sure that's effective. So we got our Lash of Thorns, we got our Epic Downfall, we got our Festive Funeral, we got our Reef Salt. Yeah, obviously. We got our Didn't Say Please. Yeah. Our removals we can get back with the Mystic Sanctuary. So that's going to be 2 of our islands. Goes without saying. I mean, it would be dumb not to. I mean, just those top few removal cards. I was like, oh yeah, they're all instants or sorceries. Let's do that. We can get our removals back for 1 blue mana. I'm fine with that. It's going to slow us down 1 turn, but we get our removal back. So we get to use the removals more than once. So that, yeah, obviously there's our deck. That's what I would stack. Let me know what you think. Would you do something different? Look at these pulls, man. Can you believe that? On a pre-release kit plus the Garuk. That's crazy. This is the most valuable pre-release kit ever, I think. So anyways, plus the Clack Bridge and the Ayara. Oh, man. So we got some pretty good cards in this. So let me know what you guys think of the video. I want to do something different. I know this is stupid long. It's almost, oh, God, it's almost an hour. Nobody's going to watch this. But let me know what you think. If you want to see me do some more of these, I'll try and do them faster next time. This is way too long. I really appreciate you watching. If you stuck around this time, thank you so much. And hopefully you guys just kill it at the pre-release this weekend. Have fun. See y'all there.